All right, I figured I'd do a little shot here. It's kind of a neat little area. It's actually the bathroom, the first bathroom up on top of the east side of Rabbit Ears. Today is a day where there was supposed to be little to no snow. I think they were advertising. Yes, advertising is probably the right word. No snowfall. Although I did see there was one forecast out there was like 1 to 3 inches by Wednesday. So we'll see. See what 1 to 3 inches by Wednesday looks like. So I'm going to go ahead for the time being, turn my headlights back on. It is 8:45. It is January 10, and I am heading to Laramie, and I'm a little bit slowed down by the weather, probably by about half an hour. So not really too bad, really. I mean, so far the drive has been snowy, a little bit snowy, not bad. Really, this is the side of the pass that it's done this, it's doing this. Quite a bit of wind. So quite a bit of wind, and as you can see, quite a bit of snow. Nothing really too surprising. So, of course, in the windy areas, you know, it gets a little bit weirder. I thought I'd just run this road for a little while, or run this down for a little while. Let's take a look. Now, typically, when you get on this straight stretch right here, you can look straight ahead. Let's see, which way am I? There we are, okay. I'm trying to figure out where the rumble strip is. I don't really have that good of information, I suppose you would say. Anyway, if you're looking straight ahead on a clear day or a less cloudy day, we would see the little rocks of Rabbit Ears poking up. But we don't see that. Instead, we see snow, pine trees, vehicles, and somewhat stained snow from the sand. Or the thing that you. I don't think I'd want to be running dualies on this stuff unless I had some sort of studs or something on them. Because they really would. Well, there's a truck that just went by that has a dualies, big dualies, and they look neat. However, you know, a narrow snow tire, or a somewhat narrower snow tire with a really aggressive tread is going to do a whole lot better than two of them, you know, because you just half your, you just have your, you've cut your friction in half. Yeah, you cut your friction producing area in half. Maybe not completely in half. There might be some small benefit, but probably not. So a pretty damn good storm on this side of the mountain. I turned off of Highway 40 and went around some really slow traffic and got current on how much snow was actually on the road. There was about 6 inches of snow on the road around 20 Mile Road. If you've watched any of my videos or you know where 20 Mile is, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, then I guess southwest of Steamboat Springs. I have to sneeze. Let's see which rumble strip. I'm probably crowding the center rumble strip. Oh no, now there we go. So the idea that I'm hitting both rumble strips, it just is, I mean, it says the road is pretty hard to find the location on the road where I want to be. I'll follow these guys down, hope they both go straight. Sometimes I'm very disappointed. I'll come down here and I'm going a less populated route. You know, most people are heading, I guess, if you want to list a big city, they're heading more towards Denver than they are towards Laramie, because Denver's a big town, I mean a city, and Laramie is a small town. But then sometimes they just want to frustrate me and get in front of me, and then I have to pass them usually. Sometimes they do really good. Sometimes they pass me. But today it looks to me like 14. I'm getting two roads confused. I'm getting 125, State Highway 125 and Highway 14 confused. Looks like we got a problem here. So I'll just kind of... Now this is one tricky ass little road. I'm gonna carefully get over and hit the spikes on that thing. Oh yeah. I'd like to have one of those. I used to have one of those. So that's what we're looking at today is, now you may have asked me why I didn't bother stopping. Well, they've got that well in hand. I don't need to be in their way. Big truck. But this is the land of the wind. So it's an interesting place. Oh, I'll let the camera run. I've got lots of battery. Lots of SD card left, I think. Now I'm running about 48 to 50 miles an hour here. I've got reasonable braking. I wouldn't call it great braking, but it isn't terribly bad. It does not look like this road has been maintained for a while. Go ahead and put my polarized glasses on. Oh, much better. I used to spend my money on fancy Oakley sunglasses. Now I buy cheap Walmart fishing glasses because I just go through them so much. It cost me $4 or $5, and you know they're UV, and they're also polarized, and that helps a lot. So we've got another. Well, we got wind coming from. Oh, he got crunched pretty good. Wow. I'm trying to get around this guy. Mistake. There we go. Yeah. We've got wind coming from an unusual direction. Well, more from the south than from the west right here. Maybe that's a better way to put it. So, yeah. You know, what's interesting is that on rabbit ears there's no one off the road. But look at this. And there's a reason for this. You know, it's just a rough road. I'm not going to stop and talk to this guy. He's got his headlights on. He's probably waiting to get pulled out. Just gonna fare thee well. Pass. If there's an issue, it looks like something, you know, like they might need some help, like they might need some medical attention or something, and I'll go ahead and stop. Although I'm not a doctor, I only play one on TV. But what I can do is if my wheels are still on the tarmac, you know, and I'm not stuck, I can take somebody, you know, back into town. I'm not sure what Walden has in the way of doctors, but I bet they got a doctor or two there in Walden. They may even have a clinic of some kind. I don't think they've got a hospital though. But they might have. Good. So the thing that I don't want to hit, and I'm going to try to stay more in the middle of the road than on the edge, is I don't want to hit a heavy drift, because a heavy drift can certainly do a lot of damage. You know, a heavy drift can pull you into the shoulder or into the bar ditch if you're not, you know, extremely unlucky. Keep my speed at a reasonable speed. I'm not going to creep along at 30. And I'll just go for the go to the conditions. I'll probably keep my overdrive off for a while, especially while I'm in this 55 mile an hour section. The truck I passed is pretty much pacing me, so he's moving along pretty good for this weather, and so am I. But I really don't like being behind a truck. You know, it's like intensifying your snowstorm by, well, you know, double, whatever. Especially snow that is blowing around like this snow is. And so you always have to watch oncoming. We were pretty close. I couldn't tell you who was closer to the center line, but I guess because we did pass, but neither one of us was actually on it or over it. Or one of us was over it, but the other one was compensating. So that's good. Yeah, I've noticed that these drives, these heavy winter drives, especially a long day, really tire me out. It really takes quite a lot of concentration, you know, to keep. Sure we're here. Yeah, those trucks, they come up this road, and this road doesn't really look like a pass, but it is actually, you could call it, I mean, technically it is a pass. It's the lower end of the east side of Rabbit Ears. And so is Muddy Pass, for that matter. They're basically both hill climbs, or, you know, elevation climbs that get you on top of Rabbit Ears. And so that, and the wind that we have over here, and the exceptionally nasty weather that this part of Colorado gets, and it's mainly because the wind, I would say. You know, wind is the big culprit. Oh my. Oh. Something's got his lights off. It's like a shadow. Like a ghost truck. Oh, maybe he doesn't have his lights on. I just didn't see the... I take it all back. I take it back. So I try to be on the proper side of the road. You know, people tend to want to get right in the middle of the road, and I understand that. I want to get in the middle of the road also, but if you have vehicles coming, you're better off if you are paying attention to where you need to be on this road. Because you don't really want to be in the middle of the road when someone else is in the middle of the road and they're oncoming or you're oncoming. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad day. It's just a bad thing. So, boy. And here's the thing with this road. When I-80 gets closed, which happens frequently in the winter because of the wind, a lot of the trucks will divert onto this road. And I'll bet you that the trucks that we've seen that are in the ditch and the other ones that will probably be in the ditch later on today are probably here because they were diverted and they don't really know this road very well. This is a if the shoulders were about 10 feet wider on either side, this would be a pretty good trucking road. But the shoulders are relatively narrow. And that is really one of the big problems with this road, is that if you're not in your slot, you know, you can't veer off you don't have the tolerance that you would have on another road. And it's not only trucks, it's everyone. You know, you get your tire down into the soft snow on the edge of a road, and it'll pull you all the rest of the way in, and you're going. That's where you're going. So, because I want to get to Laramie and do my job and get home, I don't really want to, you know, end up on the side. I do have a shovel. Actually, I need to get another shovel in here. And last week I got a tow strap because the weather was so bad on these roads that people were off in a ditch. I helped one person, but I didn't have a tow strap. I saw about 3 or 4 cars off in the ditch, maybe 3. And I realized, yeah, that could be me, or I could help it better if I had a tow rope. So, yeah. So. So you can see where the grass peaks up right there. That's the edge. I mean, that's the edge of the shoulder. It's the edge of I believe that's the edge of the blacktop. But the blacktop might actually not go out that far. I think it does, though. Either way, if you're out that far, that's, you know, that's not good. If I'm looking here, I'm seeing the edge of the road, and then there's dirt, and then there's grass. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Now I haven't really had my coffee yet. This is a wonderful time to have some coffee. Oh, and it's good coffee too. So when I see an oncoming vehicle, I go ahead and slow down just to make sure if we have to do any dodging that we have a slow enough speed that we're able to maneuver if we need to maneuver quickly. And as I get closer, I can gauge whether I need to move or whether that vehicle needs to move, and you know, and hopefully we both do this right thing and we pass each other safely. And typically, I'm pointing out all the stuff on the horizon. Today, we're just gonna show the road. And it's a shame. I really want to do another video of this road where the conditions are a little better but look worse. Okay, it's probably really bad. But the snowplow hasn't been by lately. That's why we're hitting these lumps. We're basically packing the drifts down and turning it into, like little, bluffs. Now you can see the edge of the asphalt there onto the right side. And you can see that if you get off the asphalt, for the most part, it's going to be bad on a day like today. I have seen 2 vehicles, I believe, right up here off the road, and I have the documented evidence of them. One of them was a Walmart truck, I believe, that runs a regular route, and the other was a little silver car. And I believe they were both right in this area. Yeah, that person was like wanting to get right up on the line. I understand it, it's like trying to climb on top of a capsized boat, right? It's that kind of a thing. You need to be, up on top of it where you're safe. But that doesn't necessarily make you safe on a highway, to get right on that center line. And my employer would be totally okay with me if I blew this appointment off today because of the severity of the nastiness of the road conditions. But I always drive in these road conditions. That's basically the job, really, is to negotiate these rough road conditions, do it safely, get there, do your job, and get home safely. And to that end, I really do try to be safe. There's another dually, little dually, probably. It looks like a state patrolman. Yep. So if I started, it's kind of like if I started asking my employer, to let me go later because it looks a little bad today, that I would eventually just be out of a job because every day is pretty much bad. You can just count on it. There's not been a day that was forecast to be good weather that was good weather, at least not all day. Not up here. The conditions up here are quite local. I mean, They're unique to this area. To a degree, they are. Notice I use the term degree because we're talking weather. But I think another thing I've noticed is that this year, well, in years past, I've noticed it too. This year, more so than ever, though, I've noticed that when the weather forecasts 1 to 3 inches of snow, we're getting twice that, twice the max, sometimes 3 times the max of what they're forecasting. And so I'm pretty sure their computer model, which we all know, if you know about this, is based on a computer model that has been made to account for the mythical global warming, the global warming that's not taking place. I believe that because they're using bad data, putting it in their programs, they're getting bad data out. I think that their universal assumption, not on a local level, but on a universal level, is global warming, temperatures increase. And temperatures increase, precipitation dries, it becomes less, whatever their thing is. And then as they see the weather change, they add to their story that they always have to adopt whatever's happening. And I think it's really funny when they say, well, even though it's colder because of global warming. And I saw some incredible moron who is an incredible moron who wasn't able to produce for a judge the data that he claims to have that proves global warming. He couldn't even produce it. In a lawsuit he apparently filed against someone else for defamation, right? And he can't even back his own bullshit up, but we know why. It's not a hard thing to figure out. It's bullshit. He's screwed with the data. Well, his friends screwed with the data. He may have been part of it too. I think he was. I'm not so sure about. I think he was in government. I think he was a bureaucrat also. So when you have people at the top that are pushing you bad data, and everyone in the media is in the tank for global warming, there's no way you're getting the right data. And so you're operating on the wrong data, globally anyway. Maybe not locally, but I think it does affect it. I think it affects things like the snow amounts. Because in a global warming scenario, we would likely have less moisture rather than more moisture, at least this time of the year. Then in the storms there might be. Of course, like I said, they adopt all these other principles that they adopt all the anomalies and claim it's global warming. So, I just think when you've got bad data, you're putting bad data into a system, and you get bad data out of the system. Seems like, that makes sense to me. Last week, was it last week? No, it had to be the week before last. Oh yeah, the week before last. We were in a similar situation. The snow was forecast to be, a small to mid amount of snow. And I drove from Craig to Oak Creek, and I filmed that, and that's one of the videos that I put out. And there's a lot of snow. There's a lot of snow over there too. I mean, it really got dumped on. I followed a maintainer this morning for probably 15 minutes. It was plowing that snow, and he was pushing the berm up over 4 feet tall. But what I wanted to say was, I also filmed from Oak Creek south to the Trough Road. So I went down 131 to the Trough Road, which I think is County Road 1 in Eagle County. I could be wrong about that. But it starts in Eagle County, and I think it ends in Grand County. I believe that's right. Anyway, the sky cleared up a little bit, and the lighting that I got heading east on the Trough Road, basically northeast, was amazing. And that's just a beautiful video. I am a little annoyed though, because I didn't notice that I had gotten a scummy film over the upper right side of the windshield where the windshield wiper doesn't clear the window. You can see it in the camera. It doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really hurt the video quality too badly, because the rest of the window's relatively decent. I think there's a couple of streaks, but the quality of the light, I think, overcomes any of the shortcomings. But I would rather have not had that. And I'll probably today, when I stop, I'll probably stop in Walden. That's where we're headed to, and I might go ahead and clean the window just to make sure that scum isn't on there. But what a cool video. And I have no idea whether or not people will watch it, but I've got 5 subscribers, I think, at this time on this channel. So, and they're probably mostly family members, but there could be some people in there that just really like the driving videos. I really like driving videos. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to set a channel up and get it rolling. Talking politics is really not something that I want to do, but if I'm going to talk politics, I've said it before, politics will inevitably rear its ugly head in pretty much every subject, because we have a hard time getting away from politics, and that's not our choice. And when I say our, I mean conservatives. We would rather just live and let live, and we are dealing with people that do not agree with that. These people want to meddle, they want to hurt, they want to punish, and they want to destroy other people. I think that's part of the lure of power. So they go out of their way to politicize everything that they can politicize, and we're stuck with it. We either tippy-toe around like we don't even, like we're not even understanding what's going on. Yet the fact is we do understand what's going on. And I think it's quite disingenuous to act like we don't know what's going on just because a person might be scared that YouTube is going to shut them down. And that's the danger of censorship. And YouTube should know better, but they're leftists, so they do. They do know better. They just don't care. Or, I'll put it this way, if they're changing their ways, they haven't cared. We'll see. They've yet to invite me monetize this channel. So we'll see. Oh yeah, and the channel that is monetized, my Old Town channel, is shadow banned. So I'm getting more views on this brand new channel out of the blue. That's not what it's called, but I mean, really out of the blue, than I was getting on a channel that has over 5,000 subscribers, which isn't much. But that's pretty much where they killed it. Oh no, they killed it at about 3,000, but there have been a couple times that it's opened up before, I'm assuming they throttled it back down. And the times that the channel was open and that the videos were being, I guess, recommended, I gained another couple thousand of subscribers on that channel. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a day like today that I'd like to do my job in Laramie, then get a hotel room, and then come back. I have to go to Kremling tomorrow. Just come back over Cottonwood Pass through the little town of Rand and make my way over to Kremling, do my job, and then decide which route I want to take back to Craig. But that's not how this works, so I will be driving on this road. Well, I'll be driving on a road anyway later on today. Most likely, as long as everything goes well and I don't stick this thing in the ditch somewhere and it doesn't blow up. I do worry about this little car. It's a good little car. It was well maintained. My parents, this is Mom's car, was her car, and she took good care of it. Well, in my parents' later years, they sort of quit maintaining stuff. Well, I think that they moved from Craig back down to Oklahoma. It was mainly for Dad because Dad was having a hard time. I think the altitude. He was weak. He had heart attacks, and that weakened him. And he also had cancer. So I mean, he needed a break, but because his heart had been weakened pretty severely through heart attacks, he needed it to be down in a lower altitude, so his heart wouldn't have to work as hard. So they moved back down to Oklahoma, and you really basically start your life over again. I think for them, they went to the local church that we went to when we lived in Oklahoma when we were kids. They went back to that church, and so that helped a lot because that gave them a sense of belonging, of being in a community. And well, but that didn't replace all of the business acquaintances they have made, and people that would do work for them. They had one outfit in Craig that did all their car mechanical stuff, and when they got to Marlow, I think they never really got anybody like that. I don't think they found anyone that they trusted, and it could be that my sister and her husband live down there, and they helped them out quite a bit. And my brother-in-law he's just a genius when it comes to machinery. And so he may have well been in taking care of their vehicles, and they didn't really need, to find a mechanic, because he was happy to do it. So I mean that helped also, that they had family down there to help for those kind of things. Things that I would have done, that I did, when they were in Craig. It's a weird thing watching your parents who are strong, who protect you and who raised you, and watching them get old and get weak and become dependent, on us. So with our parents, when they needed help, I can probably pull this guy out. Let me see if I can. The guys in the truck that stopped to help, they saw that they saw me trying to pull him, and I'm kind of glad they did, because they saw that I wasn't getting anywhere with it. I was moving him a little bit, but I wasn't able to get enough momentum built up to get him back on the road, because there was an easy 6 or 8 inch shoulder that he needed to climb up onto. But so they saw what was happening, and that worked out really well for the kid. Okay, so here we are in Walden again, and it's a nasty day. There's not a lot of snow, but it really doesn't take much more than this to just make everything nasty, messy, slick, dangerous, all that stuff. Yeah, 2 of them were getting serviced. But it hurt. 2 of them had wreckers. Why do I think this guy's going to turn? Well, maybe not. Maybe he's just going slow. That. Better not do that one little bit. Huh? We'll do it now, though. There you go. I'm running 46 right now, as we speak. I was behind a car, that vehicle that was going about 20. I thought it was an old guy. I think it was a younger woman. And yes, I do look. I look to see I want to see what people look like if they're driving good or if they're driving poorly. I'm just curious. Is there a particular look that a person has who is a good driver or who is a bad driver? And then again, making that kind of an assumption off of one encounter in traffic is really kind of rude, really. So it's rude of me, and I know I'm being rude when I do that. So anyway, so I stopped and got, I'll buy a candy bar at that store, and I'll put gas in the car if I need it. But I rarely need to put gas in the car because I'm usually got all that stuff figured out running around. But they're nice. They put up with me. They allow me to use the restroom. They allow me to get away buying a little candy bar. And I chat a little bit. I usually say something. I just make a little small talk. But it's actually not small talk. It's actually interesting. Like I told them, they're the lady that is usually in there, and then there was a guy there, and I told them, yeah, there were three semis off the road heading back towards Steamboat on 14. And yeah, they might need to know. I don't know. Two of them were being taken care of, two of the trucks, all because there were wreckers there. And I'm assuming that the third truck that was there was just waiting for one of those wreckers, because that wrecker's going to want to do a 2-in-1 job. If all they have to do is pull the truck out of the ditch, that whoever got finished first could go back and pull that other truck out. So, or however, I don't know how that works, but I'm sure there's a way that they've got it figured out. Yeah, when it comes to pulling with this little car, I definitely have to pick my battles. And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of things that I won't be able to do. But if someone's really lightly stuck, I can get them out. That's what I can do. But if they're stuck even a little bit bad, then it's this little car just won't do it. And I wouldn't expect it to be able to do it. It would be like in my Samurai. I mean, in 4 low, I could spin all the tires, but if I don't have the weight, and that's kind of the issue with these little cars, I don't have the weight. Or if the road is so slick that and combined with not having weight, that the tire can't cut down into the blacktop and really do something. There's not much you can do. But that's cool. That guy, I've seen him here before. I've passed him on this road. Probably up here where we're heading. I think that's where I remember seeing him. A big old tall box on the back of a relatively heavy-duty truck. That looked like maybe a 1.5 ton or a 2 ton. It was definitely a bigger truck, but he's hauling quite a bit of weight. So he was on the road. He was able to just haul him out, no trouble. We're actually getting pretty good speed up here. This is great. Something that does make sense to me, all the people on this road, even the ones that I might be cranky with because they're going slow or they're going whatever, everyone could be helpful. And it's a good policy, I think, to try to be helpful also, because you never know when the person that you helped is going to help you, and you never know when just your act of helping somebody, who knows where that goes in this world. The pay it forward idea, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's paying it back. I think I've had lots of help in my life. I've certainly done a lot of dumb things and survived, and I'm happy. I'm thankful. So, although having said all that, I really only contributed a tow chain, or creature, or little rabbit. Oh, and a shovel. Yeah, tow chain and a shovel. Well, I did a little bit of shoveling, so. I need to carry another shovel. The odds are that no matter where you're at, if you're pulling someone out there, two people there, so we need two shovels. That way we can both clear the area, so that you maximize your chances of getting that vehicle out. Anyway,